So my local OTS started hosting locals on Friday nights. If if they get enough people to come by, we can do a quick locals. And I went to that on last Friday night, and I ended up going 3-0. And then they regularly host locals on Saturdays, and I went to that, and when I got second place after 4 rounds, um, which is really I'm really happy about because I'm really liking how this deck is performing. Both nights I took Voiceless Nadir with a small Ryzeal package, and just having the Ryzeal package is I think is doing wonders for the deck. Because going first, you're able to set up a really strong board that the two best decks of the format, Ryzeal and Malice, they can't really play through. And then going second, Malice is a bit iffy, but going second against Ryzeal, it's really easy to break their board just because of the Nadir package, as well as your own Ryzeal package. So that if they interact with all that stuff, you've got access to your Voiceless stuff, you've got access to Voiceless voice, which is good by itself. Round one on Friday night was against Kashtira, and I ended up taking that 2-0 just because he did not have a very playable hand. He didn't really open much both games, which is unfortunate. Game 2 was against Labyrinth Stun, where his main goal was to summon Red Eye's Dark Dragoon with Red Eye's Fusion and then set 4 pass. I ended up taking that match 2-1 because game 2, my opening hand was just really not good, and I think he either opened 2 D barrier or drew into another D barrier, because he dimensional barriered me twice when all I had was like Saphira and a ritual spell to ritual summon with, so it was just not a winning game. But next game 3 I ended up winning, and then round 3 was against a Ryzeal deck that we ended up going into time, and I was able to just attack into him for enough damage. Game 2, where there was just not enough time on the clock to deal enough damage. And then on Saturday, where I got second place, round 1 was against that same Labyrinth Stun player. I can't really remember how exactly either game went out, but I ended up taking the match 2-0. Round 2 was against Tenpai Bestial Fiendsmith, which I unfortunately lost game 3 because I just opened a very bricky hand of 1 Diviner, 1 Skull Guardian, and then 3 Effect Veiler. And then when I Veilered him during the main phase, he just activated Talents, ripped the only starter that I had, and then my top deck for my turn was a Purulia, so I was really not doing much with that. Round 3 was against Malice Striker? Sky Striker? No, just Malice. I think they just use a Sky Striker package to link climb, but yeah, it was Malice, and that ended up being a 2-1 match that I won. It was a really good match just because we both just made a board pretty much just uninterrupted, and the other player just couldn't break the board, so we ended up going to game 3. I made a board, and then during the draw phase of his turn just activated Lancia, and that kind of just kills the deck. And then round 4 was against just Voiceless Nadir, and I ended up taking that 2-1 because game 2 I got him down to just like one card in hand after he kind of bricked. I think we both were bricking that game, and I managed to draw a low for a normal summon, and I just used all my interaction, and then the last card in his hand was Nadir Servant, so he was just able to play through that. I misplayed that game, but the next game he also bricked, and we were coming pretty close into time, and so I ended up taking that match. So it was a X1, got second place. I'm super happy with it. There's some changes to the deck I would make, but they're very small and minuscule. So I'll just go ahead and get into the profile. So for the rituals, both days I was playing 2 Skull Guardian, 2 Guardian, 2 Sravis. I think this is a really good ratio, but instead of playing 2 Sravis, I think I would play 2 Guardian, 1 Sravis, and then 1 Old Man. I was going to play an Old Man on Saturday, but I ended up forgetting to, and I just played the 2 Ritual Sravis, which was fine. But I kind of just want having that access to be able to cheat out the Sravis and then summon it multiple times on my opponent's turn. Yeah, that's one of the changes I would make, is just drop the Ritual and add the Old Man. For the Voiceless main deck, I was playing a pretty standard 3 low, 3 Diviner, 2 Saphira, and 1 Trias. There's really not much to say. I'm pretty sure Diviner is just a better normal summon over low, but they're both like 1 card starters, so it's just really good to open them, but not good to open multiple copies, or opening both, unless you have ways to utilize both. And then Saphira at 2 I think is just the right ratio. Trias you just send off of Diviner. Pretty good. For the Voiceless spells, I played 3 Barrier, 1 Blessing, 1 Radiance. Radiance was just really good against the lab matchup. Radiance is also good against the Ryzeal matchup. I almost messed up. Well, I did mess up badly against Ryzeal on Friday, where I had I think I had Saravis and Low on field with Radiance face up, and what I could have done was use Radiance to destroy I think his Duo Drive that he was going to use when he attempted to activate the effect to search. So I could have just chained Radiance to pop them both, and then keep my Saravis for when he tried to Exceed Summon again. But I ended up not doing that and just using the Saravis on the Duo Drive, which almost cost me the game. So I need to play smarter with how I use Radiance. Blessing is just good because it lets you Ritual Summon on both players' turn. It lets you play around a D-Barrier, and Barrier is just broken. So those are the continuous spells and traps. Consistency, 2 pre-prep because pre-prep is a +1, and then 2 ritual spells because you pretty much just want to play 2. You can't play 1 and you can't play 3. Well, you can play 3, but it's just not good. For the Nadir package, it's just a simple 1 Maximus and a triple Nadir Servant. The more I play with this engine, the more I love it, just because going first, it lets you set up your graveyard with, you get to draw at least 2 cards, and then what I like to do is send a Wind Pegasus for going first. If my opponent gets rid of a card on my board, I can Wind Pegasus, banish it, shuffle a card from the opponent's field back into the deck, which is really nice. I like that it's reactive. going first, and then going second, it can help break boards, which is incredible, while also letting you get into multiple draws. And then for the Ryzeal package, I played 3 EXT and 1 Sword. I think this package is just really good for Voiceless, just because Detonator is, well, first of all, opening one over the other only, it really depends on your hand. You would prefer to open EXT because it doesn't require you to waste your normal summon. But if you have Sword, Low, and Saphira, or any combination of like Barrier and Saphira, or Low and Barrier, or I think that's it. Or I guess Low and pre-prep, or Barrier and pre-prep. Just a hand that lets you play with your Voiceless cards while not requiring the use of your normal summon is just good if you open Sword by itself. Because then you just go normal Sword, effect, search EXT, EXT send aggregator to summon itself, and then overlay for the detonator. But you would heavily prefer opening the EXT because you can just go send aggregator, special, search Sword, summon Sword, effect, add another EXT, and if your Voiceless combo doesn't require the use of a normal summon, you can go normal EXT, overlay for detonator, attach aggregator for 4 pops. But that kind of plays harder into nib, and I kind of just don't want to risk that. Plus, just having 3 pops and Voiceless combo is just better than risking losing it to a Nibiru. But yeah, I think the only thing I'm thinking of changing for the list is just playing the 3 EXT plus 1 Bonfire to just kind of make it more consistent. Just because being able to see this going first is just insanely good. And then hand traps I think are pretty simple. It's just 3 Ash, 3 Veiler. I think I want to bump this down to 2 just because I feel like I find myself bricking on hand traps a lot. It's a 45 card list. I played 2 Ghost Ogre on Saturday, and I played 2 Ghost Ogre on Friday night, and then I got recommended that I try Ghost Bell over Ogre for Saturday, and it only came up against the Labyrinth player where I Ghost Belled both of his big welcomes. So I mean that was nice, but I would have liked to also see this against, if I played against Ryzeal, I would have liked to see this, or against Malice, because Malice I can Ghost Bell one of their trap cards, or I can Ghost Bell their field spell. Yeah, I think, oh yeah, and Ghost Bell if you open it and your opponent is on Bestials or Called by the Grave, and you go Dynamondo Tributes to summon Skull Guardian. If they try to Bestial you or Called by, you can Ghost Bell to protect it, which is pretty good. I like Ghost Bell, but I also like Ghost Ogre, so I don't really know how to kind of mediate that. But I liked Ghost Bell. 1 Called by the Grave. I got some advice from the Voiceless Nadir player that he plays 1 Talents in the main deck and then 1 Called by on the side, just for if you're going first, you have as much like active cards or something. I can't really remember all he said, but I think I want to give that a try. And then last cards I played was 3 Dominus Purge. This is really pretty much the only deck that can play this and do well with it. It's just a second Ash Blossom, but you want to use your, if you open Ash and Purge, you want to use your Ash first before you activate this, because if you activate this from the hand, you're locked out of activating fire monsters effects for the rest of the turn, which thankfully does not conflict with the Sword Ryzeal, because Sword Ryzeal says if you have a Ryzeal monster on your field or graveyard, comma, you can special summon this card from your hand. But if it said if you have a Ryzeal on field or in grave, semicolon, you would have to activate the effect in order to summon it, but it doesn't. So that means you can summon Sword Ryzeal, special summon Sword from hand after using Purge's effect from the hand. So that's really nice. And then last card to round up 45 cards was just 3 Imperm. So that was the main deck. For the extra deck, I played 1 Underworld Goddess to out tower monsters like Dragoon. I ended up making a misplay against the Labyrinth player because his board was Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Lady Labyrinth, and Skill Drain. And I had a way to out the Skill Drain. I was afraid of outing the Skill Drain and having his Dragoon be live. So what I should have done was I made 4 bodies and then I should have used the Dragoon for the last link material, but I ended up using the Lady for whatever reason, I don't know. And I feel like that misplay almost cost me the game, while also misusing my Nadir Servant extra deck send instead of it was just a very weird game where I just made a lot of mistakes that I shouldn't have, and now that I caught my mistakes, I feel stupid for making them. But yeah, Underworld Goddess was just really good. It was just good for outing really big monsters that I couldn't with Skull Guardian with Skill Drain face up. 1 SP Little Knight and 1 Dynamondo for the Link 2s. These two on Saturday came up against the Labyrinth player because these two are just really good at breaking boards. So I'm really proud with how I played this out. So I had Skull Guardian and Low and Sravis, and on my opponent's previous turn, I went pretty sure I went Radiance of the Voiceless Voice, target 2 to destroy them, 2 of his back row, and then it came to my turn, and I believe he set 5. I'm pretty sure he set 5. Because when it came to my turn, he went like draw phase, activate trap trick. No, it was set 4 because he had to set the card from deck. So it was set 4, pop to, I don't even remember at this point. But he de-barriered me after using trap trick. And he chained a de-barrier to my ritual spell. So after de-barrier resolved, because at that point I didn't really care if it resolved, I went normal summon Effect Veiler. And at this point he had 3 face down cards. I went normal Veiler, link into Almirage, and he attempted to activate Dogmatica Punishment, but I reminded him that he was under Trap Trick, so he had already activated his 1 trap card. So I was able to keep my Almirage, and I used my Sravis and my Almirage to link into SP Little Knight. Little Knight target one of the 3 set cards that I knew wasn't the Dogmatica Punishment. I used SP to banish that, and then I went SP, use itself and Skull Guardian to make Dynamondo. Dynamondo target my Sravis engrave and the other unknown trap card, return them both to the deck, and I passed after that, and then in the draw phase I went Dynamondo effect, tribute, summon back Skull Guardian, and my opponent had 1 set card that I knew was the Dogmatica Punishment, which doesn't do anything against Voiceless Voice if I have Skull Guardian, Low, and Barrier face up, which I did. And I think I also grabbed back the Radiance off of a Blessing. So there was really not much he could do because he had one punishment, one card in hand. So I ended up taking that 2-0. Really hope I didn't explain that too long. But yeah, these two are just really good at breaking boards, and I really love it. Link ones played one Anima because nobody respects the Anima, and they always play into it. One Almirage and one Secure Gardener. If you brick like bad on hand traps and you hard open Dogmatica Maximus, you can go normal summon one of your hand traps, link into Almirage, and then link into Secure Gardener. You have an extra deck monster in your grave, so you can go Maximus, banish, summon, and then hopefully draw into some engine. That's it for the links. For the Xyz, I play one Typhon, because Typhon does come up sometimes. It really came up against the Ryzeal player on Friday night, because he went... he had Field Spell, he had Detonator, and he had Duo Drive. I went Normal Summon Low effect to place one, and he went Field Spell Negate, so I went cool. Overlay, Typhon, bounce, what was it? Bounce the Detonator, attack over the Duo Drive, sorry, and pass on like a set card or something. So it really comes up against Ryzeal. And then I only play one Detonator. I don't play the Duo Drive because I have no cards to search off of the Duo Drive. This card is really good, 3k attack, so it's a really good beater. It's a light monster, so if I have Skull Guardian, Low, and Barrier, which is very easy to get to, it is a untargetable, at most 3 pops, or at least 3 pops. Most 4 if you use your normal summon on another Ryzeal monster. And then if your opponent tries to destroy it by card effect, you can detach one to protect it and still have at least 2 pops. So this card in Voiceless is just really good. For the Nadir portion of the extra deck, I played one Garura to draw a card if it's sent to grave. Entis will pop a card on field if it's sent to grave. I played one Wind Pegasus at Ignister. If my opponent is playing into my board, and they destroy a card by battle or card effect, I can Wind Pegasus, banish, shuffle a card from their field back into the deck. And so basically I just kind of trade. One Malong to bounce more cards. I might cut this for a second Entis, just because I think Entis might be better, because Entis destroys and then Malong puts the card back into the hand. So I don't want to give them that material. It's good against extra deck monsters, but I don't know. A card I could cut for a second Entis is Herald. I really often don't send Herald off of Entis or Diviner or something, and you can't send it off of Nadir Servant because it has less attack than Maximus. So I might cut this and add a second Entis, or if I play Seravis, I will play IP Masquerena, maybe. I might just go for the double Entis, because having 2 Entis is really good, because that would make 2 Entis and a Malong to send off of Nadir and Maximus. So that's 3 cards off of the opponent's board gone. So yeah. And then last card, of course, not last card, sorry. 1 Aggregator to send off of EXT, and then 1 Charvigate Ferrigite to draw more cards. So that's the extra deck. For the side deck, I'm not really too happy with this side deck. There are some changes I want to make to it. played 3 Perulia. Going second, it's pretty good against Ryzeal, or I don't know if it's good against Malice. You get at least 1 draw, so it's kind of just, it might not be good because you're trading 1 monster for 1 draw. I don't know. I'm not usually citing this in against Malice. But I am citing in Triple Lancia against Malice, because this card OTKs Malice, and they have to have like cross out or called by for it. 2 Nib. I want to play a 3rd, but I don't think I can find the room with my particular side deck. But Nibiru is good. Trap cards, I played 3 Judgment, because going first, what's better than having 1 to 2 summon negates off of Ceravis is having up to 3 summon negates. So also it's just really good at outing your opponent's board breakers. A tech card I got recommended was 3 Imperial Iron Wall against Malice, and this did not come up at all. And it just feels like a win more card if I'm going first against Malice, because all I really need to do is make a Ceravis and Skull Guardian. So I will definitely be cutting this to probably play Ultimate Slayer, just for more board breaking capabilities. And then the last card was an anti-spell, which I also will probably cut just because of the Nadir package. Locking myself out of my access to Nadir is probably not the best move, so I could cut this and play something else. I was just super afraid of like Dark Ruler and like Forbidden Droplets or something. So, but yeah, I could cut this and play something else. But yeah, that was my Voiceless Nadir Ryzeal deck that I was super proud of, besides the side deck. I might make some changes, but overall I'm really happy with the deck. Let me know what you guys think of the deck, and I'll see you guys later.